Hi, Mike. Hey, guys. You know it is your girl Whitney from Whitney Escapes. It's been a crazy day, but we're here. And we're going to be speaking with author Kaylee Hills to discuss the book of this month. So, with no further ado, please welcome Ms. K.L. Hill.
Hello.
We're
Can you hear me?
here.
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear
you're
me?
good.
Okay.
We're here. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I know we've had some scheduling stuff, but we here. We here.
Yeah, like I tell everybody, life happens, and if we can make it happen, we can happen. We're just happy that you're able to come and was able to make it work. So it is what it is. So, and with no further ado, please tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Hello. I'm author KL Hall. So I currently reside in Virginia. I have been writing books this past July. I actually made my 10th year of being a published author. I've got over 50 some books out. So, yeah, I write primarily urban fiction, urban romance, some women's fiction, some erotica, little this, little that. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being a part of it. Yes. Um, but I wanted to know, I said I'm gonna do this a little different because this is the book number one of our series. And I was like, normally I just go deep in it, but I was like, nope, let me rewrite how I want to talk about it.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I said I'm gonna dig more deeper into you, and then we'll get into the book, so then people know okay they have a book number two. So let's start with okay, maybe like 6 or 7 questions, like not personal, but like more about your background, and then we'll get into the story.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, great. So, what books do you enjoy writing?
So, I mean, I think like urban fiction is probably like always going to be like my top, like where the heart is. Like, I love just like a thug. And even if he's like reformed, but he's got some thug tendencies, like that's just like my jam. So definitely that. And I say maybe like a close second with just like erotica, because that's like, it's like fun to dibble and dabble and, do different stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. Was writing always your passion?
Yes. So I think if you like ask that question and my mom is like in earshot, she'll be like, she picked up a pen when she was 18 months. If you let her tell it, she's gonna be like, absolutely. Like she just knew even before I knew. But yes.
That's great. That's great. So, since you've been writing since you were 18 months, how did you like get started and writing like your own books and stuff like that? Like, I know you said it's been 10 years, but what was that change that be like, you know what, let me start doing this?
So I was actually home for the summer. Like I worked like at like a school during like the regular school year, but it's summer break. So not really having much to do. And then I ended up having a conversation with an older cousin of mine who told me about the whole Amazon thing because I had looked into like publishing a book and what all that. But like just Googling it makes it like really hard and very like intimidating if you're like an agent of this, of
Mhm.
that, like what? And so my cousin was like, no, Amazon, you can do this, this, this. And I was like, okay. So it's summer. I don't have anything to do. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to figure out this Amazon stuff. So I'm like super broke and I'm like over here getting like free credits for Photoshop and trying to figure out how to like make a book cover and all of that. So humble beginnings for sure. But, we're, 10 years later. So we're here.
When you keep it going, I tell everybody, when you believe in yourself, even me running my own business, like, oh, you do it by yourself. Oh my God. I'm like, everything ain't always easy,
For sure.
but you got to keep it going. Like, even though I run my business, I still work because I'm like, I'm not letting my business, definitely with the travel when COVID happened. I
Right.
was like, people didn't travel for 2 years and I still got to freaking eat. So,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
you
Like, yeah.
know, and I tell people like you can't be above working, even if you work for yourself. I'm like, I'm never above working. So
Right.
I totally understand like the passion behind it. Like, hey, I'm broke, I need to figure this out.
Right.
Hey,
Like
this is the way
easy.
to do it. So that's great. And look at you have 50 books under you now.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. That's a huge
Yeah.
milestone. 10 years. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Who is your favorite author?
I don't like.
You better say, I have a couple of them. Give me your top three. I'll let you do top three.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whoa.
And it don't have to be in any particular order. This your top
Okay.
three.
Um. Mercy B.
Wait, let me write
Or
this down because
or
I had to check these people
or
out.
Gray Huffington. I believe same person, but just different kind of genres, but all great. Um. Be Love. Obviously, she's great. Um. Three. This is hard. This is hard. Like I'm just can I say myself? Because then
Yeah,
like
you can say yourself.
makes it like a little like less pressure, right? Like I'll just sign myself and
And
say
why?
I mean, I feel like there are so many like great authors. Like I enjoy a lot of people. So just like and I think with me too, like being so busy, like I don't really have the time to like invest in like deep diving into every single catalog. And I'm like, but I am definitely trying to get more into like audiobooks because I understand why people are like gravitating towards that because it's like you can work, but like someone is reading to you. So it's
Yeah.
like two things are happening.
I like audiobooks, but I only listen to audiobooks that are autobiographies.
Okay.
So the whoever wrote the story, I want to hear them tell their
Yeah.
story.
I
Or it has to
have
be like,
Adversity for Sale by Jeezy, and he reads his book himself, and it's very good. I haven't finished
yes,
it, but I
that's good.
started that
Yeah,
one.
he's on my list. I was
Yeah, I
like,
got
I'm
like 3 chapters left, but it's very
him or like Jada. I'm like, what book do I want next?
good. And then I was also like, okay, because Fat Joe, like the Book of Jose or something, like I
Mhm.
think it's called, his is coming out too. So
I don't know if I want to read it. Even with Jada, even though she's all in tabloids, I'm like, do I want to read her? Like I'm like, some stuff is just too messy even for me. I'm like, I don't know if I want to know. I read, well, I listened to Will Smith book, and I tell everybody, his book was like a freaking movie. Like
wow.
he had sound effects. He did a wonderful job in his audiobook. So I tell everybody, I'm like, you have to listen to his audiobook because he's extra. But it was a good read. He didn't like bash it. It wasn't too like, I'm like, I'm not that messy. I don't really care that much.
Right. Okay.
Um, so I probably get the Jeezy, but I keep on about all my girlfriends, you gotta read it, you gotta read it. I'm like, what you think? I'm like, okay. So I keep on debating which one. But yeah, audiobooks with autobiographies or like I just finished Atomic Habits. So it has to be like a kind of like something
Yeah.
that's going to
Just
help you
like
be a better person.
gotcha.
Yeah. But like love stories, no. I
Yeah.
I can't get into it because I like to make their own voice
In your
of the
head.
characters in my head. And if I feel like someone describing you and that voice doesn't sound like what it should
Don't
sound like
match.
to me,
I can respect that.
it
Mhm.
messes me up. Like
Oh my
you should
god,
gotta
it
hear it.
sounded so much better in my head. Now you've messed it up. Yeah.
They do. And then like a lot of times people use the same voices, like the same people
Okay, I
who
got you.
are like the audio people. I'm just like,
So it's hard for you to be like, "Oh, you were this character, and now you're
I
also
hear this
this character."
person.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Or different dialects. Like if it's a different country or like an African story, I could listen to that because one, I was reading this book, I think it was a blood something. And I was like, I kept on Googling the freaking words and then like I was missing the content. But then when I listened, my friend was like, you gotta listen to it. And I'm like, because they say certain words like ka, like and you're like, what? But you got it when she said it. It made sense that
Right.
she was pissed off.
Okay.
But you reading it like, why is she saying it? So like,
Okay.
yeah, those are the ones I would deal. But
Okay.
I do listen to them in the car. I do listen to audiobooks, but I'm always listening to like that's why if you look at on the Whitney Escapes the book club, I always have like a financial book or like how to be better because
Mhm,
I
mhm.
listen to it in
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah. I mean, no,
So
that's totally makes
autobiography. So
sense.
yeah. So but I tell all my authors, I'm like, I just like your books. I prefer to read the actual story.
Yeah.
But that's just one person. But I tell people if that's the only way you can read,
I mean, right?
Well,
Yeah,
you're
right.
not reading. That's the only way you can listen and say that you read a book. Then no.
You can still express your opinions about it because you got it.
Exactly. Okay. Who is your favorite character that you wrote about?
Ever?
Well, yeah.
This year? Oh my gosh.
You know, it's a character that sticks with you.
There's like a couple. So I
See,
feel
okay,
like
give me top three. I'll give you good
okay,
top
I
three
feel
again.
like the Chief from A Lover's Heist, so the first book in the three-book series. So he's the oldest brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will say Blue from Something Blue. And then I think like to like this is gonna sound weird to like pay homage to like my humble beginnings. Like I have to say Justice because he was like the book, like the first book bay I ever
Mm-hmm.
created, I should say. So yeah, I feel like that would be the. But then I mean, Cass is pretty cool.
I do like catching this book.
He's
Uh,
really cool.
I see. Do you prefer writing the guys' characters over the girls?
I think it just depends. Like I do try to find a little balance. So like if it's like, like her point of view and they have a sex scene, then like the next time it's a sex scene, I'll try to have it from his point of view so you can kind of get, a different thing like that. So I like that. But I mean it is like a little easier writing from the female perspective because it's like I can just bleed emotions, whereas I can't like I gotta kind of tighten it up a bit when I get to the the male part. But yeah.
I love multiple characters, like how you did in this book. I like reading multiple, but then when I started reading it, because I don't know if you watch my videos, but I always read the week of the interview
Okay,
because
okay.
I read a lot.
Okay, yeah.
And I knew it was a series. Like today, I like finished it this morning, and I was like, I told the Lord, I said, God, thank you that I finished this today, because if I'd have finished this yesterday, I would have read the whole second book. And my sister's like, because my friend's like, you can read it. I'm like, no. Sometimes I prolong reading a story because I'm like, if I finish this, I
Right.
don't want to know because I'd be like, it's hard to stop and say something because
Right, right. Like, yeah.
I'm
Especially
already passionate.
the endings. Like I have named myself like the queen of cliffhangers because
Oh, you have. This is my first story because I just met you and it was a pleasure. And I was like, she's good. I was like, good.
like
I was like,
like
yeah.
you hate it, but it's like, you got me.
But I haven't read all your work, but just from this one book that I read for you that I really enjoyed was that you haven't rushed anything. And when I think something's going to happen, I'm like, you pause and you switch it up. And I'm like, I love that. I love that it's not predictable, but it's not predictable. You don't
Right.
know when it's going to happen.
Like you
You're
know
like,
it's
oh, it's going to
gonna
happen
happen.
now.
Like
Yeah.
when?
And you're like, no, it's not going to happen right now. And then
Yeah.
it goes, no, it's not going to happen right now. Like you
Right.
make it seem and then you switch it up. And I love that because it's like, even though you think it's gonna happen, it doesn't happen. I'm like, yeah, 'cause it's not predictable, but eventually it's gonna happen in the store. But you're still building other part of it, which
Right.
I really appreciate it. And you didn't rush it, so I'm glad it's more books. I'm like, if she would end it right, I'd been so mad. So I
Yeah.
love that you didn't rush the character.
Right.
Some books, I told one of the authors, I'm like, I told you missed opportunity. Like you rushed the story. It was
I
like
feel like you missed the opportunity.
because I'm an avid reader and I'm
Yeah.
very passionate about reading. As you can see, I have a book club. Next year we have the book expo cruise, which I'm so excited about. But I'm like, I read. I support authors. Like you see me, I have my suitcase. I don't care if I don't know you. I buy from everybody because I feel like one, I know how it is to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Two, it's my escape. Hello, it is escape. But book reading is my escape. But I just feel like I want when it comes to my business, I want people to be authentically to me. So I like to be authentic to them. And I always like some writers, even when it's not the like a book I prefer, I'm like, they missed opportunity. Or
Mm.
that it makes sense, because I read this book that was kind of really good. But she's like, oh, the guy is bisexual. I was okay. Well, okay, why? Like, why would you say that and don't build the character?
Right,
He's
but
the
like, yeah,
main character.
how did you come to that conclusion and what, like, how does anyone know? Does how do
I know, like she just said it. I'm like, do you want to just put that because you want other people who may be bisexual in the book? He's a guy who's bisexual, but he was madly in love with this girl who he ended up being with. But he never been with another guy, from what we can tell. He never talks about him being bisexual. What was the point of you telling us that? You see,
Wow.
like it was missed opportunity. Like you just
Right,
said it,
right, yeah.
be inclusive. But if I was a person who was bisexual, I'm like, okay, like you know what I mean. Like you don't have to say someone
Yeah.
heterosexual, but I feel like you should build upon the character or why, or maybe he had to do something, or he kissed the guy, something.
Right.
It just wasn't a sentence, and I'm like, and I really, by the time I end the story, I'm like, it's a cute story, but in my mind, I'm still thinking, well, why did she say that? Because a lot
Mhm.
of times we're writing today, people put stuff in books and be like, to say you're inclusive, but if it, what are
Mhm.
we doing here? You know what I mean? And I
Right.
was somebody who was like, even when people put black people in books, and I'm like, well, do you want to say because you have a black person in the book? Like,
You need to be here.
no, it just some stuff just doesn't make sense. But anywho, back to you because this book was amazing.
Thank you. I know, like, when we met, you were like, "Which one would do you think I should?" I was like, So I'm very glad that you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it. I how can I say? I'm not into the thuggish so much. I like a guy with layers. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like my sister always called my husband an undercover thug. She's like, he's an undercover. I said, why? She said, because he could put on a suit when he go to work, but he could put like the jeans. He got so many different layers to him.
Right.
Like he knows the streets, but he's not.
You don't gotta
His,
be on the corner.
you know what I mean? He was never a corner boy, but he's black. Like I
Right,
mean,
he
he just
got
who he is.
smart.
He got
Yeah.
smart, but he has his own style, his own swagger, and whatever. And I go like, so I love like I tell everybody I like someone who has edge to them. You don't have to be on a corner or have to beat up people and shoot at people to just to have swagger. That's just
Right.
who you are. And but I do like that. I like it, but I'm like, oh, why we gotta be because I feel like a lot of books for writers, and even though I loved him, I love that you gave him more than just that. So
Mhm.
it was really, I'm like, oh my god, why do we only have to have
Yeah.
money
Right.
when we in that type of, you know what I mean? Like, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of times people use that same narrative, like, oh, they're on a come up, or their parents was like, the pen. But I like that he had other stuff that he was doing to show that he was smart.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I enjoyed it because, like, when I said, oh my gosh, he's a thug. But what the boy I didn't like in this story, Cannon or
Kanan. Mhm.
Kanan? Oh my god, you got him from Power because I didn't like Cannon Power.
I know, right? I was like, "Well, if the shoe fits."
He was annoying. Oh my god. But before we
Yeah.
get into actually ask you some more questions, because I want to make sure I get all my stuff out.
Okay.
Are you currently reading anything right now or no? Because I know you see you trying to get back into it.
Um, I think right now I'm like in my audiobook world, so I
Okay.
am still on Jeezy, like that's like where I'm at. But I think, like I said, I think I got like 3 chapters left, and then I'm gonna.
You're done. Did she talk about his divorce and stuff?
No, but that's the thing that like blows me because like this book came out and then it was like bam divorce. So I'm like, no, it's not in the book, so we don't need like you gonna call it
I
another
want
one.
to beat you down on purpose. Are they really divorcing, or was it like a publicity stunt to
I
get
don't
more sales?
know. Like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I have mixed feelings about them because I was like, "Oh, they're so cute. Oh my god, look at him. He a thug. He fell in love. I never would have thought." Like I was like happy for him. And then he was like divorced. And I was like, "Oh, I thought you were happy." Like so,
No, I never liked that behind. Let me stop.
no,
I
yeah. So I mean,
because of real. I didn't like it because of the real. When he came out there
okay.
and she liked him and she was married and then she get with him, I was like, I don't like stuff like that. It looked very
Like I
shady.
don't I hope she didn't do anything like shady. Like I hope it like
We
if
don't
y'all
know.
that's what I'm saying. Like if y'all just came to the agreement to be like, we really don't like each other, then like okay.
And then
But
she didn't want to have a baby with him, but then you have a baby with Jeezy. Just seems very She need to write a book, but I ain't reading it because the song would be too messy.
You can write a book too.
I'm like, I can't read this messiness. I'll hear it through the grapevine. But
Yeah.
since we talk about messy, the book we just read was very messy. So please tell the viewers a little bit about the book before I jump in with all my stuff because I have a lot.
Okay. So the two main characters are Kaz and Drew. And I really
With
like
the
her name.
J.
Yeah.
And thank you
And
for
then
clarifying that in the book. No, with a J. He like
it,
say with a D. I'm glad she said that because I was like, is this how you
no,
pronounce
right,
it?
yeah, and then, it wasn't until I think, like, one of, like, the proofreaders was like, "Well, how would he know?" And I was like, "Oh, girl, you're right, 'cause I just know in my mind, but then let me, like, so I like the spelling of that, but, definitely 2 people who kinda run into each other, like, a very coincidental but normal kind of interaction,
Yeah.
and then it's cool though. It's flirty, but she's still able to kind of do her job. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then things kind of go left, and it's a little fight and some it's a little shootout, and somebody dies.
Oh my god. That first scene was cute
Yeah.
how they met. But that first scene after, at the bachelor party for the two brothers, I liked how all their names were with K's. That was cute. Because that's how my kids named it all J's, me and my
Oh,
husband. And I have a boy and a girl. But they're my husband, my son, and my daughter. My son and my daughter have the exact same initials.
okay,
Well,
cool.
all the names, their first name, middle name, everything is exactly the same.
I love it.
It's so funny. But I loved Cass and I liked Drew. But that first scene where he went outside with his brother, they start some mess, and then the older brother, get killed, and then he's trying to process that. And then the most hot mess part was his daddy.
You gotta do it. He
Can
like
you
he like
please
let
somebody give me
somebody else
that
do it, but
scene?
it's you.
Can you please break that scene down? Because I wanted to go in the book and smack the daddy to you just lose your son and he's supposed to marry another girl because of the bloodline, because of the what
Oh
they're
yeah.
old, right? The order, because of the order. And you tell your son, not even your other son, not even cold yet. That well, he's in the ground, he's dead, so now you gotta marry her.
This is business. Let's just keep it moving because I messed up, right? Like I made some moves, and now my son dead because of it. So
So now you
now
gotta step into place.
to right that wrong, I gotta put another son in the mix. So yeah, that was obviously not Kaz's. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he genuinely just didn't see that, like his dad making that move. You know what I'm saying? So he very much had the right to be like, absolutely not. Do what? Who? No. Like, and yeah. But um okay, I mean obviously you haven't read part 2 yet, so I will, hold my
I'm reading it tonight.
She's like, girl, don't worry about it. I'll get through
I've been
it.
waiting all day. I already got it on my Kindle. I downloaded it. Even though I got the physical book, but I like to keep my author copies nice and crisp. But I will be reading it tonight. But I couldn't believe I said that was a hot. I said she got into the hot mess quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but anywho, so Drew, she got dreams, she got goals. She just working at the little strip club as a little bottle girl, just make time pass. She wants to be a professional like interior designer. So she tells that to him at their first encounter. So then he hits up her website and then they meet up and it's him.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then I think one of the funny parts of like he's like, okay, boom, give me this proposal by this date. And she like, cool. And then she give him the proposal. She like, yeah. And he like, what the hell is this? She's like,
Well,
what?
oh, pressure.
Next is back, do better. And she was very much like, what? So that was fun. And then I feel like it gave her like okay, let's knock me down. I didn't really didn't see that coming. Okay. And then she really came correct that next go round. And
I
character
liked her
moment.
personality a lot. I like Drew. I liked her a lot,
Yeah.
honestly. From a woman's standpoint, I liked her thought process. I liked how she moved. She was a good friend to her friend Yara. We're gonna talk about her hot mess self in a second.
Yeah, we're gonna ask how you feel
Um,
about that one.
Girl. But I liked how she carried herself in every situation she was in.
Mhm.
She was like a no nonsense chick, but she was still fun, laid back. But I really liked her character. So kudos to you. I really liked Drew a lot.
Yeah. And it's funny because I was like just in a separate book discussion, and it was the exact opposite for that character. They was like, "Oh no, we
Mm-mm.
hated her." So
I like Drew. I liked her a lot because in every scene she held herself very well. Even
right,
when her liking Cass, she knew there was chemistry, but she wasn't pressing or pushing things forward. You know what I'm saying? She
she
was
was
very
trying to
like, I
be
like it
professional. Like you
very
hired me
much.
for the job. I want to do the job. I want to prove that I can do the job. I can. I'm mature enough to put my personal feelings to the side. Like
Hmm.
but
But he kept her pursuing her. She wasn't coming after him.
right.
He always came after her. He
Because
always was
he
staring
was
at
not
her.
trying to get married to nobody. He was like, I'm still single in my mind.
He kept her forgetting.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to get married to nobody. I want this one. And now I got who?
And somebody who finally got my attention. I was like, okay. I don't know why they didn't like Drew, but I like Drew. I like that she wasn't forward. She wasn't forward. She didn't take no mess when that boy tried to touch her, hot mess.
Yeah.
Kaden tried to touch her and the freaking nasty behind. So I'm out of here. She was a good friend to Yara. So I like Drew a lot. But let's get back to hot mess Yara real fast.
Yeah, poor decisions.
Very poor. That's what they said. That's what they should have said they didn't like. Did they like Yara?
So it was a different book. It was a totally different book. But yeah, so she would have
Wait,
been
Drew was in another book?
no. So the discussion that we had was for a totally different book with totally different characters, but they absolutely hated all of the characters, and I was like, I did too, and I wrote them. So then, like coming over here, like Yara, I feel the same way. Like
Mm,
poor decisions, or Drew is like, here's what not to do. Like like
exactly. They were the opposite. Yang,
playing
yin,
all
and
that.
yang. But I
So
feel like Yara let her Virginia control her decisions. And
but
that's
it's
the
like
part
you
that was
want to
throwing
be in
me.
a relationship right now. Just say that, girl.
Yeah,
Let your
because she
bills
wanted him, but I guess he wasn't freaky enough for her.
right.
And so
A
she
little more
liked it.
vanilla. And
And
but
she liked
instead of
Annie.
having that conversation,
Exactly.
right? Like, I'll just go out and get somebody else to do it.
And just leave him alone. But and on top of that, you are raw dogging it, knowing that you got a whole man.
That's a
Girl.
that's a
And I know when that baby got conceived, and it was a freaking after you got engaged. And that's when you walk away. I was just like, this hot mess.
and look, let me just say, like, as frustrating as it is to write it and to read it, like people really do be making these decisions out here every day. Like,
They
yeah.
do.
Like they
I tell people all the time, I'm like, I need to stop being stigmatized.
yeah, because
You really need to stop it because at the end of the day, self control. I have two children, and I constantly say that to both of my children, especially my older son. I'm like, listen, self control is going to take you a long way in life. If you cannot control yourself, you're going to have problems in every area in your life. And I don't care what anybody says. And this one guy was like, "Oh, but don't tell your son that." I said, "First of all, mind your business. This is not your
yeah,
child. Okay, if his father don't have nothing to say about it, you don't. And if even if me and my husband disagree about certain things, I know how I want my son to be.
right,
Because at the end of the day, I tell all these parents, and I said they can agree with me, don't agree with me. But if you have a son, you can't tell your son to be a husband if you tell him to be a hoe at the same freaking time. That
yes,
just don't freaking mix. And like I tell my daughter, I'm like, just like she's priceless, my son is priceless. I'm like, you come from a good stock. Every chick can afford you. And I'm not talking about money.
right.
And I say everybody won't put everything to money. Everything's not money. They
Right.
can't afford, no, you, me talking to you is wasting my time and energy, which equals
Right.
you
Yeah.
can't afford this. Me, and I tell them, whoever you sleep with, plan on sleeping with them for being attached to them for the rest of your life. Because you don't know what's going to happen. Oh, I do it kind of, or I put out, and, or you could get something because everybody, this is a try everything generation. I'm like, you have to have value and morals. And I tell a lot of parents, like, oh my God, Winnie, you're so. I'm like, no, you have to teach your children this. If you,
Right.
I want my son to be an honorable young man
Right.
and a great husband, and the same thing for my daughter.
Right.
I don't want them out here in these streets wilding and stuff like that because I'm
Yeah.
like, I told my son, so by the time you start dating, you're gonna have to get a DNA test to know for real.
I mean, yeah.
People better be laughing. I'm like, look what's going on in society. People are doing stuff younger and younger and younger. And I have whatever you want to do in your household is your business. I tell my son, I'm like, your first date need to be let's go get DNA test. Don't be kissing, take nobody nowhere till you know exactly what they are, because you don't know. I have some friends who you would not know what they are, and I know that's not what they were born.
Mm.
Like people I personally know
Right.
that you would not know what they if they don't tell you.
If they don't, right, if you
Mhm.
don't have the conversation, right.
And you don't know if somebody want to tell you or not. But I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to be deceived. Definitely my children and stuff like that of what they're getting into because that's not cool either. And back to Yara hot messness, you sleeping with two different guys in a short amount of time frame. One you're engaged to, the other one you don't even know his real name. Found out that he was a liar.
Don't know nothing about this man.
Then you find out, oh, he lied to me, and I believe that's gonna be the baby daddy by how you set everything up. From her period chart, when she looked back, who the last person she slept,
Ooh, something ain't right.
and it was like, ooh, and now you're gonna find out he's a hot mess. And Karen, oh, that little lion
He
stinking
already
devil,
has a secret, like, okay, this is in the book, like, he had he has a secret family. That's in book 1.
yeah,
So
he had a secret family who he said he gonna bring back. He's greedy, and he kills his father,
but I
and he goes
wonder,
behind
like,
everybody's back.
he's very much like the junior of, like, Kaz's father. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this, like,
He is. That should have been his son.
right, like, it's kinda like,
And I didn't realize Cannon and what's her name? The fiance, his sister.
Cena.
I didn't realize they was twins.
Mhm, yeah, brother.
I was like, they are definitely opposite. Because Cena seemed like she got a good head on her shoulders. But the only thing that I hope you answer in book number 2 is why does Cena still want to go through with marrying Cass?
Mm.
Do we get
Yeah,
answers to
so
that?
yeah, I think that, like, okay, so Cena was one of those characters where I was like, it could go either way. She could be the arranged marriage girl who don't want nothing to do with this man for real, or she could be the arranged marriage girl who don't want nothing to do with this man, but until she do want something to do with this man, right? And then, like, you know what I'm saying? But then I was like, I already got one bad apple with Yara. Like, what do I want to do with Tina? So I feel like she plays it really cool in the first book, and then when you get to book 2, you get a lot more of her, and you kind of see her how her wheels
Personality.
turn.
I
Yeah.
know Cena is not someone to play with just by book number 1. Her
Hmm.
character, like Cass says, she's very they sleeping on her.
Yeah.
He says it too when they had that lunch thing. Like, I'm the one who's supposed to be in charge when this is over. But I'm always the whole time I was reading the characters, I'm like, definitely when the hot man's brother went and killed his father, I'm like, why does she still want to marry? I think she has something that we don't know.
Mm.
Personally, I think she got a plan that we don't know what the plan is, and I want to know what that plan is. But let's but let's get back. Let's stay on book number 1 because if y'all want to know, like I want to know, you'll read 1 and then go to 2. I want to get back on Cass and Drew because they were, I like them. Even
They
though
were
at the end, Drew pissed me off. But I'm not Drew, but Cass pissed me off at the end. We'll talk about that when we get there. I want to make sure I stay on track because you know, be like, what the freak? But I'm not gonna do that. I just felt like I like the cat and mouse game that they were playing.
Yeah, it was fun.
Um,
It was so fun. Like, Just
It
like
was.
you said it earlier, like I put you right in it, and then I just whoop, take it right back out.
Yeah.
Like that was very fun. Like he's like closing up her shoe in the elevator. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's very intimate moments, but it's like, oop, trying to be professional. Like, let me put
Hmm.
my hat back on, even though it's a little lopsided. Like, you know. So they were
I liked her. I liked how she played it. Very much so. But I also I liked his little brother.
mhm.
And I hope he gets his own little story because I feel like he'll be an interesting character.
You're
Um,
not the first person to say that.
I'm the person to say that.
You're not the first person to say that. So
I
yeah.
just feel like his little peekaboo moments in the story is that he's like very level headed.
Right.
He he got to marry for love, so I wonder why did he get to marry for love?
Right.
And Cash just got what because he's single or whatever. So I want to know more about. I just want to know more about the little brother. I feel like he'd be an interesting character because he kind of like he's not his dad, but he's Cash, but he has his own little man. Like, hey, we got to follow the order with which they're in. But he's
Right.
starting to see like, wait, hey, some stuff ain't right.
Yeah, this
And
ain't mathing all the time.
yeah, so I'm curious about him. Um, but I do want to talk about Cash and Drew first kiss.
Okay.
That scene, I thought that was a really cute scene. So break it down for us. How did you come up with that?
Um, I don't know. I like sometimes like I'll like be on Pinterest, right? And I'm like, okay, where do people like go on like dates? Like what's like a cute like setting? And then you get all these lists, like you can go to aquarium, you can go here. And I'm like, carnival, like, oh, okay, but everything that I feel like happened with um Drew and Cass, I just wanted to make it very organic in a way where it's like you could do it quick and dirty, but like it's like you said, you missed your opportunity. Like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
love that. I thought it was a perfect date. Well, I
Yeah,
remember when they kissed, like that was a teaser. But then when he everything he did was like how you built him up to everything. Like even when the apartment flooded, he was there, the movers and all that good stuff. They kind of got to know each other and then they kissed on the couch. And then he comes back from, which is hilarious, his lunch with his fiance, sees Drew eating lunch in her car.
yep,
You just came after that. Where are you going? I'm going to the thrift. Well, I want to come with you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, because he's just so infatuated with her and
Like
drawn
thrift
to
store,
her,
he don't got no business in nobody thrift store, and he like, I'm going.
I'm going, what is this?
Yeah,
And I just thought it was perfect how this is what I'm spending my money on.
right. Yeah, like girl, what?
But he got to see
Marguerite. Like, what is this?
what is this? Where we going?
I like
Um,
how he like also like kind of laid back and like leaned into her style and leaned
he
into
did.
like how she like wanted to feng shui a lot of stuff, and he was just like, even if he didn't like, he couldn't see it, like when he
Mhm.
saw it, he's like, damn.
And I'm so glad we know why you named the book what you named the book.
Right? Yeah. You know what's funny? Like when I turned it in, I told B Love, I was like, listen, I'm not married to the title here now. Like, she was like, no, I love it. I was like, oh,
It goes so perfect. Like at first I didn't get it, but as I was reading, I was this is hilarious because she would not give up on it.
yeah. Look, I'm putting this in there. It's gonna go good
She was
together.
like, he was like, and you still gonna do? Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Not taking the salad proposal. Gay links.
She like what she likes, and I loved it. So as I was reading, every time I read a part of her, put it in there in the description, I just start cracking up. Like, this is so funny how she did that. But then how they left the thrift store and they started carnival and he's never been,
Right.
and how they had that whole experience. He wanted her teddy bear. They had the funnel cake. He's like, oh, this is good. They go on the Ferris wheel ride, and they're kissing there. The whole scene was lovely.
Yeah.
And then, you know, hey, Go back to my place. You could probably do this after, you did my shop, and boom, they have an intimate scene in his bedroom when she gets there because she likes the place and everything, but he's still so drawn to her. Kissing, little finger action. Ding dong.
And the daddy come.
The guy who gets on my last nerve.
Why are you here?
Clock blocker. And then that was a good scene. How you stopped it. Like once again, she draws you in, guys. Give you little crumbs and they ain't about to do it yet. And she hears and how he introduced her and stuff like that. And then find out what's going on. He was going to say it, then he stopped saying it. I love how it kept him like, I love that happened, but I also hated that he didn't say anything to her. But I understand why, but I still didn't like it.
It's like he wants to keep it private and wants to keep her safe and that his like intentions are good, but like she doesn't
know any of them.
Doesn't.
And I think because he secretly really thinks that he's not getting married.
Yeah.
Like he keeps on figuring out, I have time.
Married, but I don't know if I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, because every time he forgets, it's funny how you did that. I noticed you did this. You did it like every time Drew and Cass got together, something happened and the wedding got moved closer.
Yeah,
you did that like 3 or 4 times in this book. I said, she thinks she's slick.
Had a little time, and it was like, oh no, the daddy, what?
Every interaction that they had together that looked like they about to go somewhere, the next freaking chapter was about something happening, and then the wedding got moved up. I'm like, if she thinks she's slick, I see what she's doing here. That was good though. That was really good. You kept us like, oh my God. And then he was like, oh, he's getting frustrated. Okay. He's just going along trying to figure this out.
Like how I'm gonna tell her what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna say it.
And he's still trying to pursue. And then every single time he had an opportunity, he's like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna pursue her. But then the next breath he sees her, it's like everything he said he was gonna do, he does it. And then remember, so the daddy comes and she overhears something. Oh, this is my designer. She's gonna come design this stuff. She didn't like it. And she said, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, guys? What? You know what? I think we need to keep her for that. I'm gone. And she said, he ain't gonna see me cry. I put on myself on the table and I got in the elevator and she left. What? A week later, they're at the showing of the place. She's working the floor. I don't even know why I put my hair like this, knowing he likes it.
I know, like I can't even help it. All in my brain. Look, I can't even help myself.
oh God! But then,
yeah, it turned up. Like if I was like, boop, boop, boop. When we
no, you turned it high.
Break the knob.
He watching her. Can we talk? Watching all the guys watching her, take her out in her back, and then like, what are we doing? What are we doing here, Kat? I love what she does because she put herself out there.
Yeah.
And she asked him what the heck is going on.
I'm not gonna do, and then you made it weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I saw all those guys. I don't want nobody with you. Da 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 da. Say that. I was like, okay, Cass. Okay, he put it on. Like he really want her right now. And in my head, since I know what's going on, well, what's going on? What's you gonna do with this?
Right.
That get hot and steamy. They start kissing in the alleyway and everything. He gets her in his car, take her back to his place, and they just get really hot. Like I'm talking about steamy hot. I loved it. I said, "Oh, go ahead, Cass and Drew."
Yeah.
We waited. We build up. And I love that. We kept them building up. Right. And it wasn't just like a one-time thing. Right. They both was fighting feelings, and they just couldn't fight it anymore. And then with good old-fashioned KL Hall here, they have a wonderful night. Great experience with each other. Mind-blowing from what she describes. And 2:00 in the morning, miraculously, Cash phone keeps on ringing, and he's like, "What the heck?" It's his fiance. I'm not answering this. I'm Drew's right here. Then what? He put on ignore. Then he goes snuggling with Drew. Then the phone won't stop ringing.
Right.
And then it's hot.
Yeah, I mean, life be lifing and things then went down.
Nobody life be lifing like this, y'all.
Fair.
Oh my God, my father's in the hospital. He's dying. Someone tried to kill him. What hospital? I'm coming. Then now he got to text Drew because she's sleeping. He will not dare wake her up. Hot mess can and try to kill the father. Go to the hospital. All this stuff happens. And then she's still thinking about him, send him sexy texts in the morning, all up in the bed. Oh my God. She stays there 3 hours waiting for him to come back. Then what happened? She'd go home because she said, well, can I see him later? I guess he's busy. Talk to Yara. That get cut short.
That's when her friend was about to like tell her that she was pregnant.
All the good stuff was about to happen.
Yeah, it's like really like, yeah, we're getting really close. And then
it was getting really good. Right, guys?
She gets called away.
She happy, she bliss. What's work bag? She was about to say work bag name. Oop, I gotta go. Didn't even get to say the name. So now the girl Yara have to go finish doing her wedding plan and stuff. Drew, that I'll meet you there so we could finish talking this conversation because Yara got told Drew stuff. Drew's gonna get in more detail about her steamy night with work bag. Get to the restaurant. Tell them what you did.
So it just so happened that everyone just so happens to be at the same restaurant. Surprise!
And Drew like,
yeah.
look at his face. She was like,
introduced. Like Yara's like, hey, these are my clients. This is Cena, and this is her fiance.
The mystery fiance finally shows up.
Yo, man, that I didn't know, but you didn't know, but she didn't know either. Nobody knew but him.
And guess what happens after that, guys? Stay tuned. Girl, talk about it.
But I'm telling you, like the like part, I would say this part 2 picks right up where the first one left off. So there's no like gap in time where you're like, oh my God, but what happened in the moment?
I like that. I don't want no gap in time.
Yeah, we pick right back up. And I will say just, in part 2, like he's gotta put in the work in this book to get things back. Like, you know what I'm saying, to fix it, because
he messed up big.
It's pretty bad. Yeah,
it's so, and I felt like, I promise you, I was excited because I'm like, ooh, this is going to be so good. But I was so pissed. I was so mad at the same time. I was mad at Cash because I really liked Cash. But my heart broke for Drew because, remember, we didn't talk about this, that her last love died, was murdered, and she never got to tell him she loved him. And she hasn't been with anybody for all that time. And then you finally give yourself, and she basically a virgin again.
Right.
She hasn't had anybody touch her. She hasn't even been that vulnerable. And she opened herself to this guy. And this is how she gave, oh my God. Why did you do that? I want to know why did you do this to Drew? Because I'm thinking about it. She's a young lady who's an entrepreneur, going for her dreams, working like 200 odd jobs to make things happen, which I love. Then, her love life, this guy that she loved, she never got told that she loved him, gets killed. So she goes, I'm just going to grind out. And she never opened herself up to somebody. And then the first person she opened herself up to, she gets dragged in this food. And she's not about that gangster life. Like, she don't play, but she ain't about that. But I also feel like something juicy is going to happen also with this DNA test.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything.
I'm just saying, I just feel like this stuff is going to happen. But let's go back why you did this to Drew.
So I know, right? Like, I felt bad, but like,
you was a good person, and she's been through a lot.
I know. This is just another part of the push and pull with their relationship, and it's like it's the hurdle. I think that they just been building up, and I think in her mind the hurdle was it's keep it professional, and then she's gotten over that, not knowing that there's a much bigger hurdle that he's always known about. So he's never really cared about the work part. He was just kind of, I follow your lead, like, you want to keep professional, I keep professional, whatever, until I can't. But he's always known about that hurdle, and now he's just like, welcome. Here's the problem I've been hiding from you this whole time. sorry.
That's
Like,
so crazy.
yeah.
Then
So
she wakes up to all those emails too, so now she's really about to be popping in these streets. And oh my god, do you know what? I just don't know how to feel. I don't. No matter which way it goes for book two, let me tell you what I hope happens. Let me
okay,
do it because you already wrote it, so
I did.
and it's published, and I have it waiting for me to pick up and read. I I don't want Cash to marry the sister.
Okay.
I don't think they should get married, even though I feel like they're going to. I don't think that they should get married for
Mhm.
multiple reasons. One, I don't see the point.
Right. They don't have
Um,
any type of real
they never been together. They never went on a date. They never been intimate.
it's very
That's kind of what saved Cash and Drew a little bit
hmm
because like he never did anything with this woman. This kind of what happened, and then she would be like, "Well, he's telling the truth. This is how it is, whatever." But I don't know if she's gonna be spiteful and be like, "Well, that's why I feel like she has her own plans. I
and
feel
then
like she has her own
Drew,
plan.
like, Drew also just doesn't know about his family and the fact that he had
Oh,
a brother that
he
died.
don't. Well, he don't want her to know that side of him, which is kind of
Right.
interesting to me. You keep on saying you don't want her to know that side of you, but you don't want to get rid of her. You don't want nobody else to have her, but she has to know that side of you. And
What you gonna do, man?
even though he pulled out, he still was in the raw dog in it. So I'm like, is she gonna be pregnant? Is they gonna have to make them back together, kind of like Yara did? Is it gonna be like, what she gonna do, boo? Like, I feel like I still don't want him to get with her, but either I feel like he's gonna get with have to marry her for some odd reason. Not Drew, the other girl.
Right.
I don't want him to marry her, but I feel like eventually him and Drew are gonna get married because they're supposed to be together. But I
Mhm.
feel like it's gonna be so many things that have to like bring them back together. And I don't want it to be like that, but I just feel like the right end is just gonna be like,
No
here
more
we go.
trials and tribulations. I
What carnival ride you gonna put us on? Because that's
know.
the theme.
Yeah.
And this
No,
is a 3 book series.
it's just two. Just
So what
two.
was the other book I saw? Like a little pink book. And I think it has the same name, but it's only two. Oh, ooh, I'm gonna have all my answers.
Yeah.
You better not. I swear I'm gonna be in your demons. If I'm like,
Ah! No, I will say this. Um, there are a lot like I feel like book one was like you said it, like like I'm tapping the gas a little and I ease up and I tap it, and then right when we get to the end, it's like we laying on it. So I feel like in book two, we just kind of stay on it.
mm-hmm.
We
Okay,
just
I'm
it's a
excited.
lot. But I feel like you get the answers that you're looking for. You'll get some things that you didn't hopefully expect.
I know it's gonna be some twists and turns. I already know it. I'm like, I kind of like, oh my god, I still can't wait to read it. But I do want to know one thing: do any of the characters in this story have a spin-off story?
No, so I have not done any spin-offs thus far for any of these.
Are you planning on to?
I don't know. I think that with my 2024 plans, I'll say this. Um, I am going to do another like urban fiction series, but it will be brothers. So kind of similar to like a lover's heist where that was 3 books, but each brother had their own story. So I'll be doing kind of more like that. So I know you said, "Oh, I like, Kaz's like younger brother," but so what my new stuff, like you'll get to hear from multiple family members.
Oh, I like that. I do have a question for me and the viewers. Wants to know like if we go back because this is my first time introducing to you, and I'm like, okay, when I meet new authors, I want to read their work. Is there a particular order we should read it, or can we just read anywhere and we'll be fine? Or do you have characters that pop up in other stories?
No, so typically like the only ones that kind of like connect in some sort of universe. So I have like Diary of a Hood Princess 1 through 3, and then
Mm-hmm.
justices. Like, so he was like he was the male character in that series, so he has his own spinoff. And then so those characters, so like the Justice and Sydney, they actually do end up in like one of the spin-offs from In the Arms of a Savage, like that series. So that's it though. Everything else is very much different universes, different worlds, different people, different stuff. So
Okay. So, guys, she's letting you know you can go back and read her stuff. I don't feel like you're missing anything. And she does have some eroticas, which I'm not gonna read. That's not my thing. I like death. Like I like thick
Okay.
books. I like so like Love Bell. I love her.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Chelsea Maria because they write a lot. I'm a very detailed person. That's why I like how you did your book. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she has a book too. And I better be the same people because she told me it was somebody else. I'm like, what the heck? People do that. You're like, what the heck? And then it's like somebody else's story. You find out how it ends, but in somebody else's story. I don't like when people do that. That drives me crazy. It should still be the same people. But I'm very detailed. I'm very deep. So I love intimacy in stories. But my whole thing, I want the story.
Yeah.
Let the characters build because I like following them around. Like I
Right.
know, like Christina C. Jones, you better go from her beginning of her stories, all because her characters pop up all over the freaking place in her stories.
Okay.
I don't know how she does it, but I said her brain is freaking beautiful. When I met her, I'm like, oh my god,
Just
your brain is freaking.
put all that and keep it at the forefront to know who to put
I don't know
where.
how she does it. She has so many different places in the world. I'm like, how are you doing this? And you keep it
Right.
together. Freaking genius. But I tell people, you better read her first book because character one is going to pop up. But Love Bell would do the same thing. Her
Okay.
characters
Okay.
pop up through all her stories. And I'm like, wow. So that's why I asked the question because I learned.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good question though. It's a very good question.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me find out because I'll be mad that I've read and then character's already a whole person. I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, that is story.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on here tonight. I will
Yeah.
be reading book two tonight or tomorrow, depending if I fall asleep. Because it's a long day.
Yes.
But thank you so much for spending your time with me because I know time is a commodity you cannot get back, and you decided to share that with us. And I'm very thankful for that. But I would like you to take this time to tell the viewers where they can follow you, what else you have coming up so they can support you. This is your time.
Thank you. Well, I will just definitely say, thank you so much for just working with my little crazy schedule today and being accommodating and so we could have this discussion. It was definitely great. I appreciate you, meeting you first of all, in person a couple months ago, and then now we're here, right? So that's always
Yes.
been very exciting. But you guys can follow me on Instagram. I am official KL Hall, and then I also have author KL Hall. Um, Facebook is author KL Hall. Twitter, or I guess it's X now, is author KL Hall as well.
I'm not good at this, guys. Y'all know I'm not.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a lot. It's
better.
a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. But you guys can follow me on all those platforms. Check out my website, authorklhall.com. Or if you're looking for like pre-made book covers or like author workbooks or things like that, I also have those type of resources. So that's payhip.com/authorklhall.
Well, you heard it, guys. She has all these things going on. Please support her. If
Oh,
you
wait,
have,
before I forget. Oh, one more thing.
go ahead.
I will be in Memphis in January for the BLP meet and greet. So if you all are in the area or close by, you want to come on out for a nice weekend, definitely would love to have you. We're going to have a hell of a time.
Go get your tickets if you're going. Please support her and everything that she's doing, guys. She's a great author. I enjoy this book very much so, and I will go back and I always go back and read other people's work so then I can tell you like, okay, it's legit. It's not just a one time good book.
Right,
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
know.
Oh, somebody
Oh,
asked, was I coming on the book cruise? No. And I mean, you know what's crazy? Like I saw the stuff for it, but I didn't know that was you, girl. I didn't take
I
you out.
know. It's
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, if you do it again, keep
Yes.
me in the loop for the future.
I definitely gonna keep it going. Cause y'all know I do travel. That's all I do. And I'm about to get better because I had some of my back people like, you just came back from Italy. None of your Italy stuff on. You was in Canada 2 weeks ago. You didn't go do that. I'm like, I know, but I'm a busy person.
Yeah, life is,
Life be life in.
you know.
And I'm like, I don't just pose to be posed, but I'm working on it. I will have my stuff from Italy, which was such amazing time. 10 days was not even long enough, but it was great, guys. I'm always having stuff going on. So you guys already know, follow me on everything Whitney's Escapes, my website. We'll have the book cruise next year, September. We do have, I think, a few, not that many more author spots that are still available. And all the cruiser people hit me up. And if I haven't responded to you, that means I did not get your email. So please make sure you're doing Whitney's with an S escapes. Because a lot of people forget the S and then thinking they emailed me, guys. I've been getting your DMs and I have been replying back to you. So please, if you're emailing me, make sure you don't forget the S. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. And Miss Hall, I'll be in your DMs when I finish book number 2.
I'm ready and waiting. I'm ready.
Thank you guys again for this Sunday. Have a great week, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.
Do you work too much, constantly on the go, miss hanging out with friends, family, or even yourself? Do you ever feel like you need an escape? Whitney's Escapes is here to help with just that. We specialize in family travel, autism travel, group trips, vacations, staycations, and more. So when you're ready for your next escape, make sure you contact us at whitneysescapes.com. Follow us on social media at Whitney's Escapes as well. Whitney's Escapes,